Joe Rogan has once again brought attention to a topic many people have quietly wondered about for years, and now the same questions are spreading everywhere. Who was truly connected to Jeffrey Epstein? Who was involved in his circle? And why does it still feel like the complete truth has not been fully revealed to the public? His remarks have reignited curiosity, pushing people to take a closer look at a story that never seems to fully go away.
I mean, you're if you just go into the island to bang hookers. Like, it's like they're of age. It's still like whatever he was doing, you preyed on people's desire for experiences and vice.
Yes.
And all these powerful people who, again, they can't just go call a hooker and the hooker goes, "Oh my God, I just blew Bill Gates. This is nuts." You know what I mean? Like, you can't trust them. They all hung out with him even after he got arrested. This is what's crazy.
That is crazy.
A lot of Bill Gates meetings with him were after he was prosecuted. And he got this little slap on the wrist, and he got essentially home detainment.
As soon as you begin looking deeper into the details, things quickly become uncomfortable. Rogan keeps returning to one central question: how far did all of this actually reach? That question is exactly why the story continues to resurface again and again. It is not simply because people are speculating for entertainment, but because every new document, every newly released memo, and every name that comes up seems to create even more uncertainty instead of providing clear answers.
I mean, you gotta think, man, if a guy like that is running these kind of parties with all these rich and powerful people, how many different worldwide decisions can be manipulated because of these people and the compromises you have on them?
Right.
It's really a brilliant thing to do.
Yeah.
From an intelligence perspective. Think about all the things that people have gotten away with.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this Ghislaine Maxwell thing.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell, I've said this before, I'll say it again, she's the only person ever to be tried and arrested and put in jail for... Where's the list of the people that she's to? Well, the problem is we know that they're heads of state, billionaires, wealthy people, famous people.
King's brother.
King's brother. Where's this list?
He also pointed out something that many others have noticed. Ghislaine Maxwell has been convicted and is serving time, yet there is still no complete and publicly confirmed list of individuals connected on the other side of those actions. That is where things begin to feel confusing. If someone has been found guilty, then logically there should be clarity about who else was involved. That detail is not minor. It is central to understanding the entire situation. However, it often feels like some information is still not fully visible.
So you're trying her and convicting her for a crime where if you're that means you're to someone, and if that someone is an American citizen or a British citizen, that is an illegal act. So who are these people that have committed this illegal act? Because they're responsible as well.
Right.
So who are these people? And how is there no discussion?
Rogan is not just raising random questions. He is expressing concerns that many people have had but have not openly voiced. Where is the full list? Who exactly were the individuals connected to Epstein's network? As the discussion continues, attention shifts back to Jeffrey Epstein himself. But the focus is no longer just on one individual or one location. It expands to the wider group of people around him. Rogan repeatedly brings up the idea of a list, especially one that may include well-known and influential names.
Well, there's no discussion because Jeffrey What's-His-Face hung himself in his prison cell.
Yeah. Which is insanely bizarre, right? That one. That's insane. Oh, the cameras just happen to not work. How convenient.
Yeah.
There's ligature marks around his neck and a fractured neck bone. No worries.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you hang yourself.
We were having a cup of coffee.
It's a very disturbing thing, but the most disturbing thing is that there's no list. Like, that's a real crime, right?
Well, isn't the story, the anecdote is, isn't it that, isn't Andrew supposed to have given somebody 12 million quid to go away?
Yeah.
And to get off the list?
Supposedly. It's hard to know whether or not that's true, but for sure there's money's been exchanged, influence has been exchanged. So maybe people are they're not throwing any bones.
When Rogan begins talking about how powerful some of these connections may have been, the situation starts to feel even more serious. The discussion includes individuals from highly influential backgrounds, billionaires, political figures, and people with global recognition. That level of influence adds another layer of complexity to the entire story.
Maria Farmer, I think she was the chick who was working the front desk at his office in Manhattan. She was literally on video saying that all this shit about Bill Clinton on the jet, going to the island, hanging out with Trump and all this stuff. And the right-wing people, like people I know, my parents and like older folks I know in Florida, will say, you know, she came out, thank you for exposing Bill Clinton for being a and doing all this stuff. And Virginia Giuffre, after this happened, she's like, you guys didn't listen to the whole tape.
There have also been public statements from individuals such as Maria Farmer and Virginia Giuffre, who have shared their experiences in interviews and recordings. However, it appears that many people only focused on selective parts of those statements. Some discussions highlight names like Bill Clinton, while others ignore claims involving Donald Trump. Rogan and his guest emphasized that many viewers did not pay attention to the full context of what was said in those recordings.
It's like, I was telling you that Trump was at the penthouse 3 days a week and visiting him, but you guys don't want to hear that. And it's like, you know, it's just this weird thing. Like, if you do the math, there's gotta be so many high-level, powerful people that are somehow compromised. And do I think like Clinton and these guys are? No, I don't think that at all. But if you were Jeffrey Epstein, I think it's super plausible to assume that he would try to trick them with like a girl who looks old, right? Who is possibly like on the borderline of being 18.
At this stage, the situation raises even more difficult questions. When you look at the scale of Epstein's connections, it suggests that there may have been many powerful individuals who were, in some way, linked to him. This does not automatically mean everyone understood the full extent of what was happening, but it raises the possibility that some individuals could have been placed in compromising situations. The idea is that someone in Epstein's position could have used influence or deception to gain leverage over others.
And you say, oh yeah, this girl, she's 18, 19, 20, whatever. Meanwhile, she's like 17 and they had no idea and they have video footage. And in like a court of law, if I'm the judge, I'm gonna let them, like, of course, they lied to him. And this is not like some young girl, obviously, but they lied. Yeah. But like in like the court of public opinion, you're never going to win in that case, right? Like if that comes out, you're.
The situation becomes even more complex when considering the level of trust involved. These were individuals who typically operate with caution, yet they trusted Epstein because everything appeared controlled and secure. Reports have suggested that even after his arrest, some people continued to maintain contact with him. That detail alone leads many to question just how deep these connections might have gone. At the same time, there have been allegations involving Donald Trump, the current president of the United States, which have added further attention to the discussion.
Released documents that were missing from the Epstein files contain serious unverified allegations against President Trump. The Justice Department posted 3 FBI memos describing interviews with a woman who accuses both Jeffrey Epstein and President Trump of sexually assaulting her when she was a teenager. The White House calls the accusations completely baseless.
More recently, new FBI-related documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein have reportedly surfaced. Within these discussions, Donald Trump's name has been mentioned in unverified claims. This has left many people confused, wondering what is factual and what is still uncertain.
This individual was interviewed by the FBI 4 times, and initially only 1 memo was released in that initial batch of documents released by the Justice Department, and that was an interview where she made allegations against Jeffrey Epstein, but not against President Trump. Now, yesterday, these additional summaries were released, and they detail the types of allegations that she made against President Trump, where she describes being introduced to him. She alleges that he asked everyone to leave the room and, quote, mentioned something to the effect of, quote, let's teach you how little girls are supposed to be, and then describes an encounter where he pushes her head down to his and then told agents she bit Trump, who then allegedly struck her and said something like, get this little expletive the hell out of here. Now, in her 3rd interview, she allegedly said that she was receiving threatening calls.
In some cases, individuals who came forward reportedly questioned their own decisions, especially when legal limitations such as the statute of limitations had already passed. This has created a situation where claims, denials, and uncertainty all exist at the same time. Just when it seems like the story cannot become more complicated, new developments appear. There have been claims that the Department of Justice removed 16 files after initially releasing them, which has only increased speculation and concern.
The DOJ has rescinded, pulled back, deleted 16 files off their website that had been there yesterday. And again, I want to add that this was already on top of the fact that the DOJ had not released all of the files in compliance with the law. So what are the legal implications here of the fact that A, we didn't get the full breadth of files, and B, even some of the files that were released were then taken back, presumably to protect Donald Trump?
And that's what they're doing, everyone. They are federal law, a law that Congress passed, signed by Donald Trump, that said, number one, the records have to be released within 30 days. All of them. Did we get all of the records on Friday? No. So that was of law number one. Number two, it said that it has to include all unclassified records, documents, communications, and investigative materials. Have you seen any investigative materials? Have you seen any memos between the FBI and prosecutors or between FBI agents and each other? No. That would be number two. Number three, it can only redact names under limited circumstances, for example, to protect victims. We saw, Brian, pages, dozens of pages upon dozens of pages in a row of redactions, not just names of victims, but all kinds of things. And you know whose name we didn't see? We didn't see Donald Trump's. That's another.
It says that the only people that have to have their identities protected are victims or minors. It was written expressly that items could not be redacted simply because they would cause embarrassment to, for example, political figures. And then when the DOJ spoke with Fox News, they said that items were redacted expressly because people were either politically engaged or government officials. And so this is in direct violation of the letter of the law. How could they not only refuse to abide by the full law, which stated that all of the files had to be released, but then completely twist upside down what the law actually says, and basically where it says you can't do something, they expressly said that they will.
Further reports suggest that certain documents which once included names were later updated or redacted, including references connected to Donald Trump. At the same time, officials have stated that all procedures are being handled correctly. This leaves the public with missing documents, edited files, and heavily redacted information, but still without clear answers about who may or may not be involved. Meanwhile, Bill Clinton has also faced questions from reporters regarding his past connections to Jeffrey Epstein.
Any comments on the alleged allegation of your connection with Jeffrey Epstein? No.
This situation highlights just how complicated the Epstein case has become. Some public figures, including Whoopi Goldberg, have pointed out that simply appearing in documents does not automatically mean someone was directly involved in wrongdoing. She explained that being mentioned in association with Epstein does not prove participation, emphasizing the importance of not jumping to conclusions without verified evidence.
Really? Really, that's the thing that's making you crazy? You know, it's like, let's get realistic. When I tell you people are trying to turn me into... I wasn't his girlfriend. I wasn't his friend.
You were too old for him.
And no, I didn't get on the plane. Because you know what I would have to do to get on the plane?
Fly.
They were trying to, yeah.
And she doesn't fly.
No, so they're trying
She's
to
a
get
bus
me.
babe.
They're trying to get me to get on a plane to get to this thing for Julian Lennon.
At the end of it all, one major question remains. Will the full truth about Jeffrey Epstein and the people connected to him ever be fully revealed? Or will this remain one of those stories that stays partially hidden behind redactions, missing files, and unanswered questions? People continue to debate this every day, and the conversation shows no sign of slowing down. What do you think will happen next? Let your thoughts be heard, and stay tuned for more discussions on stories that continue to raise questions.